Hi guys, my name is Trey West, the founder of MidwestMedia.org. I just wanted to briefly introduce myself before jumping right into my first tutorial video covering some of the more basic tools in the Adobe Premiere Pro editing software. So like I said, my name's Trey. I'm a digital film editor, and I just wanted to thank you guys for being here, and I hope you enjoy the video. Welcome back, guys. As you can see, this is where we'll be doing most of the tutorial for today. So there are a ton of settings and alternate opening layouts you can do when going right into Premiere, but generally this is the one that you're going to start out on. As you can see up here, this is the Learning tab. Obviously there's Assembly, Editing, we don't want that. Editing, color, effects, audio, etc. However, we're going to be sticking to the Learning tab. So to dive right in, kind of as I introduced, I will be going over some of the more basic tools that can get you a start in digital film editing. So yeah, let's just dive right in. As you can see, I have already uploaded a piece of media that I've been kind of toying with editing that my friend gave me. So that's a good place to start. So this upper left window is basically your source media, and what this is where you're going to essentially establish what cuts and parts of whatever image or audio file may be in that window onto down here, which this is the main timeline. So for example, as you can see, I have a nice video of the footage, right? And all that you do to get this to the timeline is this button right here, which is drag video only, and you just drag and drop that right on the timeline. And the timeline is where the whole main composition of your project is. So it essentially is the whole sequence of your would-be movie or short film as you are editing it. So I have a long segment of black video just to start, and then as I get closer and closer, there you see that would hypothetically be the opening shot of the film. So those are the basic layouts. This up here is just this window is just the representation of what is on the timeline and letting you see that. And finally, this bottom left window is where your project folders are, and that is where all of your media lies, and then you individually click on one, let's say this one for example, and it then pops into your source window and rinse and repeat with all the subsequent videos. So that's the general layout of the Learning tab, the most generic tab that you'll deal with. A lot of, as you can see, there's a ton of buttons, right? Ton of buttons. And I'm not going to deal so much as in the source window or the playback window or even the project window. This tutorial is mainly going to deal with the timeline tools and this narrow strip of selection tools that you will use to edit. So the first, obviously, right here, this cursor highlighted right there, is the selection tool, and that is essentially your mouse. So you can click on different things, highlight different things. It's drag and highlight. That one's pretty straightforward. It basically just acts as your mouse. This tool is called the Track Select Forward tool. So with this tool, you'll see the double arrows from the point that you click on the timeline. Everything to the right, or as we say, forward of that point, is highlighted to either scoot or trim, stuff like that. So that's what that tool does. The next tool is not, I mean, you may use it in a basic sense. It's called the Ripple Edit tool, and that, as you can see, I've got a slash through it because I don't have any ripples. And what a ripple is basically a break in between your timeline clips, like this right here. This section is called a ripple. But like I said, we won't really dive too far into that one. The next tool, as you can see highlighted there, is called the razor tool. And what that does, it splits any particular timeline sequence into two separate clips, as you can see that I just did right there. Here, I'll go back. And just like that. So you can edit this clip differently than this one, but they still run parallel to each other, which is very handy. So that's what the razor tool does. The slip tool, again, that's pretty non-basic, not a whole lot of use, at least in my experience, so we won't dive too hard into that one. Same with the pen tool. That's just for masking and creating some sort of basic effect on the footage, which, again, this is just as basic as it comes for this tutorial, so we won't dive too far into that. The hand tool, as you can guess, you use it to just move things. It's, scroll through just like that. It's kind of similar to the selection tool, the original cursor, but it does have its own special properties on some aspects. But like I said, we won't dive too far into that one either. And finally, the type tool. This is, let's say for example, text box up on the window of the timeline projection, and this is where you can just add quick titles to any production or anything like that. And that's a very basic way to do it. There are tons of ways to add titles, but yeah, so that is pretty much all we're going to cover for this tutorial. We've covered what these selection tools and these basic tools are, as well as what the 4 windows are and their functions, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So thanks.